Oh, we had a hit right there. There's a fish, guys. Something pretty good. What is it? Oh. What is it? Oh. What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Cross Country Bank Angler. Back at it again today. It's early June, and I'm gonna be doing a little ultralight wading mission today. You know, it feels like summer basically out here. You know, it's in like the mid 80s today. So as you can see, I've got the big straw hat back out again for the year. And yeah, you guys know I like to do a lot of wading in the summer to keep cool, and you know, you're able to access a lot of fish that other people don't. So I'm back here. There's a little creek behind me, as you can see. This is a place that I fished at the end of last summer. It was like my last trip of the summer here last year, and had a great time. Just sort of like a multi-species day with the ultralight, and this place had a lot of aggressive fish in it. So I'm back here. I want to kind of keep exploring this area a bit more. There's a few, you know, other areas, you know, around that I didn't get to fish. So maybe you know, retrace our steps a little bit from last time, but also try to go maybe a little further afield if we have time. We've got maybe 3 hours or so to fish, maybe a little extra. So that's really the plan today. I've got the ultralight set up with me today, like I did last time. So yeah, like I said, gonna be a multi-species, you know, creek, small river type fishing today. You never know until you throw. So let's go. All right, guys, so starting off here with this little Rebel Pop R. I think this is the teeny Pop R. It's a pretty small lure, little topwater here, chrome blackback, classic color. I'm just gonna start making a few casts just kind of near the bank here to see if there's anything aggressive enough to hit this little topwater. Topwater's been doing pretty well for me here lately, so. Oh, we had a hit right there. Oh, no, how'd he get off? Are you kidding me? Just had 2 fish hit it and neither of them hooked up. Are you kidding me? That's just irritating. Ah, how are they not getting hooked up? This is pissing me off. Ah, it's almost like they're grabbing the feathers on the back and not the hooks. Are you kidding me? How did it not get hooked? That thing went under. Completely under. Small fish is the issue here, from what I can see. Alright guys, so the Rebel Teeny Popper was just not quite sealing the deal here. You know, we had multiple hits, several blow-ups. We saw a fish coming out and looking at it. I saw a nice pickerel here come up and watch it when I was walking it back fast, which was cool. I liked the fact that I was able to kind of walk that little popper a little bit, but no fish. So, and what seemed like it was happening was the fish were hitting the popper and grabbing the white thread on the back hook and pulling the bait down by that, so they weren't getting a hook. So I think what I'm going to do is when I get home, I'm going to take that popper and trim some of the that fur and feathers and stuff off of that back treble and get it more even to the hook. So hopefully next time we fish that thing, our hookup ratio is going to be better, because we probably got like 6 or 7 bites and none of them hooked up. So I switched to, this is the Rebel Bumble Bug, I think is what they call it. It's like a fly imitation, an insect imitating crankbait. So we're going to use this kind of like a topwater, sort of like we were using before, just kind of twitching it along. And you know, you can also swim it back as a crankbait. And we were doing really well last time here with the Crickhopper, so I'm just curious to see if something kind of similar like this will also catch some fish. Now the Crickhopper is a much more popular lure than this Bumble Bug, and I have to assume that is because it's a little bit more effective, but there's a fish. Didn't take long, did it? Ooh, there we go. First fish of the day, guys. It's a red breast sunfish. There's a little log right there, and I kind of was retrieving this thing right along the log, and I think this guy was hiding underneath, and he came out and grabbed it. There he is. Kind of got cloudy, but there we go. There's a good look at him. About 4.5, 5 inches. Good colors on this one too. All right, thank you, bud. We appreciate you. Get back in there. It's a start, you guys. It's definitely a start. The color, I think it's the color of this lure's called horsefly. It's supposed to look like a horsefly, which, you know, definitely have some of those around. So see if we can catch a few more fish. That was on the you know, cranking retrieve. That was not on the top of the water. So maybe that's going to be better than the topwater move here that we've been trying to. There's a fish. Why did I say maybe this? Oh, how did he get off? Come on here, because one of my hooks was stuck. That probably didn't help. Oh, there's a fish on there. Oh boy. Not the baby bass. This guy's like a few weeks old. Like, that's not what we're looking for, folks. There's one. No, don't go to the weeds. All right, finally. I was off the surface. Got this bluegill to hit it. We'll keep trying this thing. Oh, there he goes. But we are getting some attention, so. Here's a fish. Whoa. Okay, it's a red breast. Let's get this guy unhooked. This one is not very big, but look at the belly on that one. I think it's probably a female getting ready to lay eggs. It doesn't have a ton of colors, so I'm assuming this is a female getting ready to spawn. All right, fish number 3. Starting to pick up a little bit. All right, people, so caught a few fish on the Bumble bug, but it really still wasn't getting like the nicer quality fish. You know, we got some small red breasts, we got a bluegill, you know, the sunfish, but that's not impressing me much. So we switched back, we switched to the Crickhopper. This is what I used here last time and did quite well with. If this doesn't start catching fish, you know, pretty much instantly, then I know it's time to just try a different style of lure. You know, these little crankbaits aren't going to be the ticket today. Oh, okay, there was, oh, I think that's a pickerel, guys. Yes, it is. All right, another fish. This guy, his hook's sort of weird. I'm gonna count it though, because he definitely came up and swiped at it. He's not a big fish, but it's our first pickerel this year that I was able to get on camera. I scissor of his jaw there. Let's take a look at Mr. Pickerel. They're pretty fish when they're not trying to wriggle out of your hands. There we go. Beautiful chain pickerel. Maybe 9 inches. Look at that guy. He's pretty. All right, there he is. Chain pickerel. Out at the creek. See you, fish. Let's make a few more casts out here, but they're not really responding to it. There's a fish. Feels decent. Ooh. It's a bass. All right. There we go. Got a hit on the Crickhopper again. Look at that though. That fish was hooked in almost the same way. Barely hooked. That the chain pickerel was. Here's another species, guys. 4 species of the day. Largemouth bass. Whoa, feisty guy. About 9 inches. Not terrible for a creek though. But yeah, it seems like they're really kind of swiping at this today. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go switch to a jig and plastic. I'm gonna be trying a new jig head today. There it is. 1/16 of an ounce. It's got kind of a lifelike sort of fish head to it. You know, it's got a little eye kind of set into it. No real keeper on this thing, which isn't great, but it's a smaller hook. And I'm going to be trying to get that smaller hook. One, because I'm going to be able to rig smaller plastics on a heavier jig than I otherwise would. And I think it might reduce our risk of snagging a little bit. I'm actually going to try a 2-inch, this Curl Tail Shad on it to start with. Alright guys, so here's our finished rig here. As you can see, there's not a ton of hook gap exposed. So with this thing, you know, it's kind of heavy for, you know, this sort of shallow water. So I'm going to try to keep it moving for the most part, just kind of swimming it or jigging it back. Gonna maybe eliminate some of the smaller fish, but we're probably gonna get tail tugged a lot just like that. There's a fish. Good one. Good fish, you guys. Or it's a hard fighter anyway. Oh. Ho ho ho. Nice red breast, guys. Oh, baby, look at the colors. Now that is more like it, y'all. Whoa, this is a good fish. This is a good red breast. Look at that fish, guys. Gorgeous. Red breast sunfish there. It's like a 6-inch fish, maybe a little more. Biggest red breast I've caught this year so far, I think. I mean, that thing, I thought it had a bass on. I definitely thought it had a bass on. Nice. Let's get a picture of this one for sure. Look at the colors. That is a colorful fish. That is a beautiful red breast. All right. Thank you, Mr. Red Breast. Great fight from that fish, too. Really great fight. There we go. No, something else fairly decent. Not as big as the last one, I don't think. Another red breast. This is another pretty good one, you guys. Not quite as big as the last one, but nice fish. Nice red breast. Appreciate you, fish. Pretty strong, too. These red breasts, they're strong for their size. Feel pretty good on this ultralight. All right, there's a smaller one. Still able to get it. You know, the red breasts, their mouths are just kind of medium sized. They're not a teeny tiny mouth like a bluegill. They're kind of in between a bluegill and like a bass. There we go. That was a pretty good, this is a pretty good red breast. All right, he's got a little side salad with him. Wow, this is a good one. This is a beautiful fish, look at that. Oh man, oh baby, I love it. I love catching colorful red breast sunfish like this. Let's get a picture of this one for sure. All right, one last look at this red breast, beautiful fish. All right, guys, so our curl tail got destroyed, so we used that as a pretext to switch to this EPF swim instead. This hook fits the EPF swim perfectly. And I think, you know, there's like some little, I guess maybe they're mosquito fish or something. And I think this little swim bait will imitate those pretty well. There's one. Where are all the other species that I was finding last time? There's a fish. More red breast. Where's all the other fish? I mean, I don't mind catching the larger ones. Maybe I'll go back to the curl tail. Alright guys, so we just lost that swim bait. I switched to something kind of weird here. I think it's called a Flatfish, Worden's Flatfish. I think this is really more of like a trolling lure, but it kind of works like a crankbait. It's got a flattened front, sort of like a crankbait bill. Got kind of this yellow and green sort of frog-like pattern on it. So it should swim like a little crankbait. It's pretty light, not super good, you know, for any of the other setups I have in terms of the casting. It doesn't cast that well. But it's a slightly bigger, you know, bulkier lure, so and it floats like a crankbait, so we can sort of work it on top a little bit if we want. Here's a fish. Another freaking red breast, man. Sharp hooks on it. There's a fish, guys. Something pretty good. What is it? Oh. What is it? Oh. Oh. Yeah, it was almost certainly a pickerel. Sliced through my line like nothing. But that's the risk you take with the ultralight and pickerel territory. That was like a 16-inch pickerel probably. And now he's stuck with our lure in his mouth. Great. Well, losing that big pickerel was disappointing, and it's just bound to happen when you hook up with one on light tackle like this. But I feel like this video is just kind of turned into me trying different baits and seeing what we can get to work. So I'm here with another one that I haven't had any success with at all so far. It's called the Frisky Frog. It's a cream, little soft plastic frog with little kicking feet. Got it on one of those 1/16 ounce jig heads that I was using earlier with the smaller hook. Probably should put another curly tail back on, but just curious to see what I could get to work. Oh, might have had a little hit right there. Here's a beaver. And there's a fish. Like this bluegill knew I was a little distracted and thought, all right, now's my chance. Here he is. All right, people, it's starting to get dark. I really wish I had more time out here to explore today, but I don't. It's starting to get dark. It's a little after 8 o'clock, and I don't want to be out here after dark. And I've got a little ways to go to just get back to my car, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. It's just an interesting spot. We've caught a good number of fish, caught 4 species in total today, but not as much diversity as the last time we were here back in like September. So maybe this will be a better place kind of later in the year. Again, we really try to sort of repeat the time of year that we went before. But another problem I would say though is that we lost a couple of lures to bite offs. I think next time I go out here, I'm going to try like the BFS setup, maybe just something with a little bit heavier line. Be a little better prepared, have a bigger setup, and hopefully we can catch a few more of the bigger fish that we missed today. But yeah, not a lot of bass showed up really at all. We saw a couple of fish, a couple of bass, caught one. Caught some bluegill, caught 1 chain pickerel, but most of the chain pickerel we encountered, they broke us off, I'm pretty sure. And then, yeah, mostly red breast sunfish. They are definitely spawning right now. You know, we were catching those little, kind of less colorful females that were very pudgy and full of eggs, and then the males were extremely colorful, and we caught a couple of really nice ones there from that one spot where it was just kind of like every cast we would get a bite. Anyway, cool time out here. We got several different lures to work. I think we caught some on, we were getting hits on the popper, but no fish. But we got the Bumble bug to work. We got the Crickhopper to catch a few. We got the Curl Tail minnow to catch some fish. And we also got the EPF swim to work as well there. We caught a ton of fish on that. So kind of nice to be able to try several different baits and get them all to work. So with that being said, you should definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You know, we got weekly bank angling, wading content coming at you here at Cross Country Bank Angler. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.